Hello, and welcome to my channel, Planners by Christine. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use Canva to design your planner, and then Keynote to create your links. Now the advantage of this is that you don't have to create your planner from scratch like you would in Keynote. You can use the elements that are in Canva that are really cute to create a planner that really appeals to you. Now one thing to know though, and one drawback, is that you need to check the licensing in Canva to see if it's a planner that you can sell or if it's just something for your personal use. I'll link the licensing in Canva down in the description so you can read that over. But I do want to show you how you can use the Canva app on your iPad to design your planner. But then, like I said, we'll use Keynote to create the links. I'm also going to put timestamps or chapters throughout the videos so that you can navigate to the places that you particularly want to watch. So I hope you find this tutorial helpful, and let's get started. The first thing you'll need to do if you're doing this on your iPad is download and install the Canva app. You can find it in the App Store, and this is what the icon looks like. And once you install it, you can open it. This is what the home screen looks like. Now, there's a free version and a pro version, and I do have the pro version, but there's a lot that you can do just with the free version. There's lots of ways you can do this, and you can experiment to see how you want to do it, but for me, what I've chosen to do is to use a custom size, and I make it the same size as my iPad screen. So in this case, it's 2732 by 2048. So I already put that in before, that's why it's showing under recent. So I'm just going to tap on that, and it will create that size screen. Now, what you're going to want to do is, you can give your design a name. So I'm going to tap in here, and just give it a name. Since we're going to be creating a planner, what I want to do is find some examples of a monthly planner. And I'm going to put in monthly planner. It gives you some suggested search terms. So I'm going to tap on monthly planner. And on the left, there's some templates that pop up. And they're probably pretty tiny for you to see on the screen. But I like this one, so I'm just going to tap on that, and it fills in the screen here. I really like this monthly layout, but I don't necessarily need it to have all this information like the name, month, and year right here. I don't want it there. So I'm going to tap on that and delete. And then I want to move this over. So you can move things around. I'm going to put in the name of the month here, so I don't want it to say monthly planner. And down here it says priority, which I'm just going to leave that, note, and then it has the days of the week. And I actually prefer a Sunday start, so I'm going to move these around. If you tap on this field and you click on these three dots, you can choose select multiple and then choose several of them. Drag everything down. So now I have a Sunday start because that's just the way I prefer to do my calendars. So you can change things around as you see, and it looks kind of empty right here, so I want to put something here. So I'm going to go into elements and type in the word flowers. And you can see some different things come up. I think these flowers are pretty, so I'm going to tap on these flowers. And I'm going to drag them and make them smaller and put them up in the corner. And you can make any kind of changes you want. You can change the color, like this note. If I tap on this little note, you can see the green color up here. You can tap on that, and then you can change the color if you want. I'm going to leave it how it was, but I just want to show you your options. So there's customizations you can do. Okay, so that's a good monthly spread. So I'm going to choose Add Page. Now I want to find a weekly page. So I'm going to go back to Design. And go back a screen, cancel that, and then I'm going to type in weekly schedule planners. And there's a whole bunch of things that come up here, so you can go through there and kind of play with that and find what you like. The ones that are pro have the little crown and the word pro, and the ones that don't have it are the free ones. But I'm going to pick this one because this color scheme I think kind of goes with that first one. And this one looks fine as is. So I'm just going to leave that alone. Now this is just a weekly planner, but you could add a daily spread too if you want, but for the purposes of this tutorial, it's just going to be a weekly planner. I want to go ahead and create some covers. So I'm going to press Add Page because then that makes it the same size. And then I'm going to go to Photos. And I'm going to type in there, let's do boho background, because that will kind of go with the look of this, I think. You can see what comes up over here on the left, and there's a lot of these that are, I guess these ones are all pro, but there's lots of them that are available in the free. And also Canva does offer a free month trial of the pro, I believe, so you can look into that as well. Let's choose this one. And you can stretch it to make it fit. So I'm going to do a few. So I'm going to press Add Page. I'm actually going to look under Abstract Background because I do like some of those. And there's some of these that are free and some that are pro. Let's do one more. Let's see, flowers background. I always like flowers. And honestly with this, it's only limited by your creativity. This one's pretty. And then I'm going to go to text. So you can click on add a heading, add a subheading, which I'm going to choose add a heading. And then you can change the font. So if you just triple click in there and come up to this, then you can see the different fonts and choose whatever appeals to you. I'm just going to use this font. Now you can also come up here and go to position, and you can make sure it's in the middle and the center. Now what I want to do is copy this, copy it, and I'm going to paste it down here so that I have some different looks. And I'm going to add a few more because I want to have a few to choose from. So I'm going to come back over to Photos, and I found some yesterday that I like, so I'm going to grab those again. Now that we have a monthly spread and a weekly spread and some different covers that we can use, what we're going to do is download it. So I'm going to go to the download button, and then I'm going to save it to my files on my iPad. And I created a folder earlier called Canva Tutorial, and to create a new folder you just come up here and click on this plus sign where this folder is, and you can create a folder. So I'm going to place it in there and press save, and that's where it is. So now I want to go into that folder. So on my iPad, Canva Tutorial, and here they are. Now you can see the size. Some of them are kind of large. There's the two that are small, but the rest are really large. And if we use them in this size in Keynote, because we're going to use Keynote to create the links. If we use this size in Keynote, the overall size of the PDF that we export is going to be really large. And whether you're going to be selling the planner you create or using it just yourself, you don't want a really large PDF file that you're going to use in GoodNotes or whatever app you use for your planner. So there's a way I've come up with to mitigate that, to take care of that, to make the file come out small. And I have other tutorials that talk about that. I'll link it in the description, and in the top right of this video you'll see it. So I'll link that there. There's 2 steps involved, and I'm going to walk you through that now. We're going to go into Keynote and press the plus sign to create a new presentation. So choose a theme. I always just choose the classic white. Then you're going to tap in here, choose select objects, select all, done, and then delete, and that clears everything off. Here's kind of an important thing. if you come up to this drop-down arrow and choose Presentation Options, Presentation Setup, Slide Size, Custom, for the slide size, we're going to put in the dimensions of my iPad. And the reason we do this is if you choose 4x3, then, and this is probably a little bit confusing, but trust me on this, you're going to want to choose the size of your iPad. So you can look up online dimensions of iPad Air or dimensions of iPad Pro or whatever size you're working with and put that in for your width and your height. So you put in the dimensions, for me it's this, and then you press done and then done. Now this presentation we're working on here, I like to call it the template presentation because it's not going to be the one that we export as a PDF. In fact, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to choose to rename it and call it Canva template presentation. Now remember, in Canva, we have 7, see how it says page 7? So we know there's 7 images that we're going to be working with. And so in Keynote, I'm going to go ahead and have 7 of these. So I'm going to choose copy, and then I'm going to say paste, paste, paste. There's a faster way to do this, but we're only doing 7, so I'm just doing it like that. Okay. So I'm going to go up to number 1, and we're not doing anything with master slides at this point because the purpose of what we're doing here is simply to create smaller files. And there may be a way to do it in Canva, I'm not sure, but this is the method I've come up with, and so this is what I'm doing. And if you know a better way, then use your better way. It's completely up to you. You kind of have to experiment with different things and try different things, and this is just what I've come up with, so you can use it or not, it's up to you. So I'm going to go to number 1, and I'm going to go to this little icon here and choose Insert From, and I'm going to go to Canva Tutorial, and I'm just going to choose the first one and open, and it's putting our first page in there. And then I'm going to do that for all 7 pages. So I have all 7 of these in here. Now remember how they were too big when I downloaded them from Canva? 5 of the 7 were multiple megabytes large. Well, what we're going to do now is go to the share icon and choose export and send. We're going to choose images, and we're going to choose JPEG smaller file size, and then press export. And then I'm going to say save to files, and let's go back into our Canva tutorial, and I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it smaller files. And then save. Now just as a comparison, this is the size of these files when I downloaded them from Canva. And after what we've just done, this is the size of the files. You see how this one's still kind of large, but that's still not bad. They're much smaller. And so that's going to work a lot better for the planner we're going to create. And when we export it as a PDF, it'll be a small size. So now that we've done this, we're ready for our next step. So we're going back into Keynote. We're going to go back to our main screen and create another presentation. So choose a theme, classic white, select objects, select all, done, delete. Now in this case, let's go back to our little drop down, presentation options, presentation setup, slide size, and we're going to leave it 4x3. Now the reason we want 4x3 versus the size of our screen is because when we go into GoodNotes and we have the planner in GoodNotes, when you use the highlighter pen, you want to be able to make it a nice wide highlighting mark. If the size of the screen for the presentation is the same as your screen size for your iPad, the highlighting mark will stay really thin, and you don't want that. You want to be able to have a nice fat highlighter mark. So that's why we're doing 4x3. Now, if we had done 4x3 In our last presentation, the template presentation, I found that when you import the images, they're blurry. That's why we did the first presentation, the template presentation. We made the screen size the same as the size as our iPad, but this one we're going to do 4:3. It's probably confusing, but that's just what I found. So again, you can experiment and you'll probably figure out things I haven't figured out, but that's what I've discovered. And so that's what works for me. So I'm going to press done. Now at this point, we are going to use the master slides. So I'm going to tap here and choose edit slide layout. And edit slide layout, that is the master slides. So I'm going to tap on that, and we don't need any of this. So I'm going to tap on this, select objects, select all, done, delete, and then it's just a blank screen. We're only going to need 2 master slides, one for a monthly layout and one for a weekly layout. So I'm going to copy and paste this so we have 2 blank ones, and these we could get rid of, which you don't have to, but I like to get rid of clutter. And I'm leaving this blank one just because it doesn't hurt to have an extra. So this first one, I'm going to go to the plus sign and choose Insert From on my iPad, Canva tutorial, small files. And you probably can't see it, but this is the one for the monthly spread. So I'm going to choose that and choose Open. And then this one's going to be our weekly spread. So again, the plus sign, Insert From on my iPad, Canva tutorial, small files, Canva presentation. This is the weekly. Okay, I'm going back to the monthly spread, and we're going to need a way to navigate between all the different months because there's going to be 12 months. And in this case, I'm just going to do an undated planner that can be used year after year. I'm going to put 12 boxes across the top, one for each month of the year. So I'm going to go to the plus sign and go to this icon and go to this little box, and I'm going to make it smaller. Now I want to change this color, and I'm going to have it match this blue here. So I'm going to tap on that, go to this paintbrush, go to fill, choose color, swipe left, and then if I tap on this little dropper tool, then you tap on the color, the one you want to match, and you tap on that, and you see it's right here, and it changed that color. And now it's in this list of kind of preset colors. Now we want to have 12 of these, so I'm going to tap on that and say copy and paste. And then I'm going to copy both of them. Oops. Select objects, select both of them, choose done, copy, paste. Oops. And then we're going to do that one more time. Select objects, select all 4, done, copy, oops, paste, and then paste once more so that we have 12. Now to make sure they're aligned properly, although just eyeballing it, they look pretty good, although I want to shift the whole thing over a little bit. So I'm going to tap here, choose select objects, and you can highlight the whole row. And then choose done. I'm actually going to group these because then I can move the whole thing as a group, you see. And I'm going to put it, just eyeballing it kind of right here. I'm trying to kind of center it over this, kind of between, kind of centered over the month, but not too close to this. So you can just put it where it looks good to you. But now I want to ungroup it, so I'm going to tap on it, ungroup. And then if you come over to the paintbrush, you can go to arrange, and you can align it horizontally. And it already was because it's not moving it at all, so that's good. So there we go. Now what I want to do is I want to put the months of the year on there. So I'm going to go to the plus sign and choose text. And then I'm going to type in 2021. just a J for January, but it's kind of small, so I'm gonna drag it up here and put it on top of this. I want to stretch this out so it covers the whole square, but I want to make it larger. So I'm going to come up to the format icon and go to style, or actually go to text, and I can increase the size. I could also change the font if I want. I want it to look similar to the font that's used here, and that looks kind of like Arial, I think. So then I'm going to copy and paste this letter. And then I'm going to highlight both of these. Copy, paste. Oops. So we have January, February, March, and April. I'm going to select 4 of these. Select objects, select the 4 I want. Done. Copy. Paste. And do that one more time. Okay. Now, on our weekly spread, we'll need a way to navigate when we're in this spread back to the monthly spread. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to choose select options. I'm going to select all, and everything. The only thing I don't need is this background. See the little circle? So I'm going to tap here to deselect that. And so this whole thing is selected. I'm going to choose done. I'm going to choose copy, go to the weekly spread, and paste. And then we have that there. Okay. Now I'm coming back over here because we're going to need a way to navigate to the weekly spreads from the monthly spread. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to do the plus sign and create a little box. Whoops. Just make it kind of fit to the left of the week. But I want this to be white to match the days. So I'm going to select the paintbrush, go to style, and change the fill to be white. And of course you could do any color you want, but that's just what I'm choosing to do. And then in addition, I'm going to actually I'm just going to write the word week on it. I'm not going to number the weeks, but you could do that. You could do whatever you want. That's the beauty of creating your own planner. You can do whatever appeals to you and makes sense to you. So I'm going to go to the plus sign and do text and type week. But I'm going to change the font to be Arial so it matches. And I'm going to go to arrange and I'm going to rotate so that it's facing this way. And then I'm going to drag it to be on top of that. And now I'm going to select objects, and it's selecting the word week and that little white shape. And I'm going to choose done, copy and paste. Paste again. It does a pretty good job of lining them up. So that's done. So I'm going to press done. And now we're on the main screen. There's a couple things I need to do. First, I need to put the month here. So I'm going to come up here and go to this icon and choose text and type in January. And I am going to make this the same font, which is Arial, and also make it larger. move it up here. I'm gonna make this box a little bigger because some months have more letters than January does. And kind of center it. Now, besides putting the month, I also need to create a box, an invisible box, to tie the links to. So to do that, I'm gonna come up here and choose this little thing, choose this box, drag it up here and have it cover this. And then I'm gonna go to fill and choose no fill. So it won't be visible, but you have to have some sort of object to create a link with, and this is how you do it. So you can kind of see an outline there, but you shouldn't see that in the actual planner. So I'm going to tap on this and choose copy and paste. Put it over top of this one. Paste. And one more. Okay, it's helpful to do everything on this first slide before you duplicate it for all the months of the year, because then you'll have to do it once. Like I did this already. I have a place for the month, and so it will line up the same on all the months. So since January is done and I have everything in here, and you might be wondering about creating links here, but that's going to be something we do in the master slide. So we'll do that in a minute. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to choose copy and paste. And I'm going to paste 3 of them. And then I'm going to hold this down and tap all 3, copy, paste, and it pastes 4 of them, and then 4 more. So we have 12. Now I need to come in here and I need to change this to be February. And we're just going to put all the months in. Okay, so we have all the months. And then I just remembered that we have those covers we want to include, but I'm going to show you something. And also I didn't put a name. I'm going to change the name right now. I'm going to call it Canva tutorial. Okay, I want to go back into the master slide and create our links. Now we know January is slide 1, February is slide 2, etc. So I'm going to tap here, edit slide layout, and I need to create little boxes on here like we did for the weeks on the other slide, so that to tie the link to. So I'm going to do the plus sign and this little guy and just make it cover that one, and then make it so there's no fill, and then I need to copy and paste that. Okay, so now that we have little clear boxes over all the months of the year, I'm going to tap on January and choose link and have it link to slide 1. Then I'm going to do the same, link to slide 2 for the February one, link to slide 3, and just go through and do all of them. Okay, and you can tell there's a link because it has a little circle with the arrow, and sometimes I like to go through and just double check. So I'm tapping on that. It says link to slide 1, 2, 3. And I realize that, I have these. I need to put them over here as well. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to say select objects. And I want to select all of these. So I'm going to highlight the whole thing. Choose done, copy, and then I'm going to come over here and paste. So now we have the same links there, and then choose done. Then I come over here and I'm like, oh, that's right, those covers, I want those covers and I want them first. So I want to add a blank slide, so I'm going to do blank, and it's in the wrong spot. I'm going to hold it down and then I can move it, and I'm going to put it before January. And I need, how many did we do? 5? So I need to do 5. So I'm going to copy and paste this. And you're like, oh, that's going to mess up our links. Well, let's check. So let's go to Edit Slide Layout. So January is now slide 6. So if I come over here, let's edit slide layout. This should be 6 now. And it is. Look at that. Keynote is smart enough to adjust your links if you insert slides after you've already created links. So that shows you that that's how that works. Now let's go ahead and bring in those covers, okay? So we'll tap on that, go to this, go to Insert From, so let's insert from and choose small files and do that for all 5. Okay, so we have all of those. So the next thing we need to do is bring in our weeks. So I'm going to come down here and bring in a weekly spread. And let's go ahead and bring in 5. So slide 18 is the first weekly spread. So we need to come up to January and link this to 18. And then this will be 19. And unfortunately, there's not, the only faster way to do it is if you do it from a laptop, which is what I normally do. But other than that, there's really not a shortcut, unfortunately. You just have to, it's tedious, but that's just kind of what you have to do. Just make sure these are correct. 20, okay. Okay. Now, since there are 5 weeks in each of these months, and there are 12 months, that means we'll need 60 weekly slides, and we have 5 so far. So let's go ahead and copy them. So now there's 10. Let's see if we can copy all of those at once. That's 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So there's 77 slides, 60 weekly slides, plus 12 monthly slides, plus those 5 covers. And of course, you can add any additional slides you want, but we're just kind of doing a simple weekly planner right now. I haven't created links between the monthly spreads and the corresponding weekly spreads. I only did it for January because I'm not going to take the time to do all those links right now. But let's go ahead and export this and see the size of the PDF file that we get. So I'm going to choose Export and Send, PDF, Export. And we're going to save to Files on my iPad, Canva tutorial, and choose Save. Now let's go into the file, and it is right here. 4.7 megabytes is the size of our file, and we can shrink that more. If you go to a website like smallpdf.com, you can upload this file and it'll compress it even more. But that's the size. Let's open it in GoodNotes and see what it looks like. So we'll come in here, import. It's this one right here. Open. Okay, so we have the 5 different covers, and then we have our planner. So you toggle this on or off. So right now, if I toggle it here, then tapping on links will make them work. So I'm going to tap on this, March, August, June, December. So all of our links are working. So if we go back to January, then if we tap on week, it shows a weekly planner. And so let's go back into January, the monthly view, and let's toggle it so that we can actually put the dates in. So I'm going to choose the pen, and I want to show you too. So if I choose the marker and I choose the size, the different thickness, if I do the thickest, see how nice and thick that is? That's how you want it. And it would not be that thick if we hadn't put that final presentation as a 4x3. And if it's vertical, you just do 3x4. So I'm going to come over to the pen and I'm going to write in the dates. And then if I toggle this off and I go to week 1, then I can put in here 1 through 7, January. And I can just swipe to the next one, which was 8 through 14, January. I can go back here, and then we can go to week 2. It's going to do the one I just did, you see. So this is how you can create a planner using Canva to design the interior of it, but using Keynote to create the links and to make it a smaller size. There may be a way to do links in Canva. I don't know. I haven't tried that. I prefer to use Keynote because I'm really familiar with that, and I've found this method to really make it a small file. So that's what I like to use. And if you're in Canva, there's other things you can use to kind of build your own planner with pretty elements that they have. And so that's something you can do as well. If we come back in here, for example, and I choose Add Page, if I go into Elements and I choose Planner, you can see some of the different graphics that they offer. Like if I come in here, you can't really see that. Let me change the color. And you can have your grid. And you can use the elements, and you can create your own planner, and that is something you can sell. If you take a whole bunch of elements and create something completely new, my understanding is that the licensing would allow you to then sell it. So that may be something you'd want to do, but that's a lot easier and for a lot of people than going into Keynote and creating every element yourself by creating tables and all the different things. And there's just lots of fun, pretty things in here. So that's a way you can create a planner in here bit by bit, piece by piece, each element to make it a look that you like and to make it something that you could sell because you're taking lots of elements and you're making it into something new. But if you just want to create a planner from templates that they already have, you can do that as well. But like I said, I'm not sure if that's something you can sell. You'd have to look at the licensing and figure that out. I'm not sure. Okay. Now we created all these different covers, and so if you come up to these 4 squares, it shows the different covers. So what you can do is move the ones that you want to use in the future to the end. So you hold this down, and see how you can move it, and you drag it, and you can slide this up and place it at the end. And do that with all the ones that you want to use in the future. And then select that first one and then close, and that'll be the front one. And so now that's your cover. And then say down the road you get tired of this one. So come back up to your 4 dots and move this one to the end. And then the one that you want to have at the front, you put there, select it, and there you go. Now that's your cover. So that's a way that you can have multiple covers and you can kind of rotate and see which one you want to use. And so you have all your months that are linked, and then you have your weekly spreads as well. So I hope this tutorial helped you figure out how you can use Canva to design a planner a little easier than creating one from scratch within a different program. And you're only limited by the creativity and the ideas that you have as you explore Canva and play with all the fun things that they have in there. So I hope it helped you out, and I sure appreciate you watching my tutorials.